It's day 30 of quarantine. I broke my glasses. I don't want to do my hair. Miss you guys. How you doing? All right, so we're going to keep on going with these exponential functions. We're going to bring back a formula that we saw a couple weeks ago. It's the slope formula, right? Rate of change is what we're going to be looking at. So this should be a nice little review for you. Okay, so to find the average rate of change, we use the slope message. Sorry about that. We use the slope formula, which is right here. It takes 2 points, and you put the y's on top. Y to the sky divided by the x's. So we're looking at the change in the y-axis, right? And the change in the x-axis. Okay, so to use the slope formula, we need 2 points. Yeah. All right, so let's see. I'm going to do the odds, and I'll leave the evens. Nope, just kidding. Let's just do them all together. Why not? We want to find the average rate of change for this function as x goes from 0 to 3. All right, so as far as our 2 points are concerned, we've got 0 for our first x, and we're going to 3 for our second x. But what we don't know are the y's. So I've got to do a little bit of algebra to figure out what those y's are. Okay, so for this first y, when x is 0, let's plug in 0 for x and see what we get for this y. All right, so on my calculator, why not use it if you got it? We have 2 to the, we're going to plug 0 in for x, so 2 to the 0, and then plus 3. So it looks like this y is equaling a 4. So when x is 0, y is a 4. Okay, so now let's find out what this other y is, and we're going to plug a 3 in this time. So our y will be 2 to the third power plus 3. All right, so 2 to the third power plus 3. That gives me 11. So that y is equaling 11. All right, so now I'm ready for that slope formula. Just following it from right here, we put the y's on top. So y2 is 11 minus y1 is 4 all over x2, which is 3, minus x1, which is 0. You could type it into your calculator using that fraction button if you want, and it does it all at once. Or you can do it in pieces, whatever you're most comfortable doing. So that comes out as 7/3. You can leave it as a fraction, or you could turn it into the decimal, doesn't matter. Most of the time though, on multiple choice, you'll see the slope as a fraction. All right, so that is your rate of change for number 1. All right, how about number 2? It's the same idea. We're going from x is 1 to x is 5. So what we've got is 1x, 2x, right? We've got 2 x's. Now we need to figure out what those 2 y's are. So here's our equation that we can put things into. Actually, this one I can kind of do in my head, I think. If x is 1, 3 to the first power is just 3. So that's 3. This one, though, maybe a little harder. This is 3 to the 5th. All right, so if we put 5 in for x, we have 3 to the 5th. Which is 243. So now we've got our y1 and our y2, and we're ready for the slope formula, aka average rate of change. All right, so this average rate of change, aka slope, we take the y, 243, minus the other y, which is a 3, and then on the bottom we do x2, which is 5, minus the x1, which is 1. All right, you can type it in all at once or take it piece by piece, whatever you're most comfortable doing. I know this is going to be 240, and then on the bottom, that's a 4. So there you go. The average rate of change is 60. All right, so let's move on to tables. We want to find the average rate of change as we go from -1 to 2. So this is fancy notation, right? It's using brackets to represent what these x's are. So we're going from -1, so we're using this one, and we're stopping at 2. So in other words, ignore all of that. All right, just block it out of your view. All right, we're going to focus on where we start and where we stop for these x's, -1 to 2. Okay, so this is my first x and my first y. This is my second x and my second y. So I'm ready for my slope formula. How about some labels? Let's see if that helps you. First and the second. All right, so the formula puts y2 on top minus y1. So we've got 54 minus 2. And then on the bottom, we have x2 minus x1. All right, so x2 is 2 minus x1 is -1. Ooh, a double negative. Ooh. All right, a minus minus, we know that's going to go positive. If that freaks you out, you can type it in and not worry about it, and your calculator can handle it for you. All right, again, whatever you prefer. Okay, so we've got 54 minus 2, which is 52. 2 plus 1, which is 3. Oh, doesn't reduce at all, so that's it. That is our rate of change, 52 over 3. All right, next one. We're going from -1 to 1. All right, so -1 is right here to 1. So ignore everyone else, right? Scribble them out so you don't get distracted. This is my first point. Ooh. This is my second point. All right. So for our average rate of change, we have -40 minus -10. On the bottom, we have 1 minus -1. All right, so let me type this one in instead of doing the algebra in my head so you can see that you can do it more than one way. So you've got -40, right? We've got that negative button on this calculator. So -40 minus -10. On the bottom, we have 1 minus -1. So even if you're not real good with the double negatives, your calculator can do it for you. This comes out -15. All right, flippity-doo-dah. Now we're going to find the average rate of change on a graph. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so we've got our first x and our second x. So what we need then is the first y and the second y. And I'm going to get that from the picture here. So if I go to -2 on the x-axis, that's right here, we want to find out what the y is for that spot. So follow it up. Looks like it's hitting at 16. All right, so if x is -2, y is 16. All right, over here, if x is 0, okay, so if I don't go right or left at all and I just stay here at 0, then the y at this spot is a 4. So I've got this ordered pair, -2, 16 for my first point. Then I have this other point, 0, 4, and that's going to be my second x and my second y. Now that I have my 2 points, I can do that average rate of change, aka the slope formula. So the slope is y to the sky, 4 minus 16, and then x's are on the bottom, 0 minus -2. All right, so 4 minus 16 is -12. Negative goes positive, and that reduces to a -6. Or you could type it into the old calculator. All right, one more with you. Number 6. Okay, so x is 0. That means the y is, ooh, that's kind of right in the middle. It goes by 2's, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, so that's probably a 3. So our first point here is 0, 3. So there's x1 and y1. And we're going to where x is 2. So here's x is 2 if I follow it up. So if x is 2, then the y is 12. So this will be my second point. All right, so slope time, aka average rate of change. Y to the sky on top. We have 12 minus 3. So those are the y's. And then x is on the bottom, 2 minus 0. Okay, so 12 minus 3, that's 9. And 2 minus 0 is 2. So you can just leave it 9/2. You can make it a mixed fraction with the decimal, whatever. All right, so you try 5, 6, and 7. Take a picture and submit it to me on Edmodo. Woo!